Yeah, so can we talk about how normalized it has become to waste our life working a job, going to school, not really learning anything that is worthwhile, anything that is going to help us in this actual world that we live in, right? That life is not supposed to be like this. We are not supposed to be working 24/7, barely living check to check, barely being able to get by, and not connecting with our true selves, not connecting with God, the universe, not connecting with the true, the nature, the earth, the life, the energy that's in front of us. Instead, we don't even know about these things because they are purposely not teaching us these things, because they don't want us to progress. They don't want us to elevate. They don't want us to be vibrating on a higher level. They want to keep us down. And classes, and this is about the white men that came over to other countries and enslaved people, and not even just, oh my goodness, this, it really just goes so deep, right? Because I was watching Stargate, the so you have this guy, right, the god Ra, and I know we all know ancient Egyptian culture, or know a little bit something about it, so you get where I'm going with this, right? It is said, like in the Stargate show, obviously, that alien pretending to be, a god, pretending to be this superior, pretending to be a god, being a false god, so that he can control masses of people, right? And that's what the ancient Egyptian gods were doing, right? They were ancient extraterrestrials coming from another realm to come and take over, enslave people, right? That's what the white men did, right? They went over and they colonized and they took over, right? And they created this hierarchy is about who's richer, who's poor, right? And if you're not of that rich caliber, it don't matter what color you is. If you got money, you got money, you can be in a crew, right? But they try to keep us down, and they try not to tell us a lot of things. They don't teach us a lot of stuff so that we can struggle in life, so that life is harder for us to live, right? And that's what I'm saying. Is so much around us, is so much energy, so much, like, so much that we can learn, so much that can help us elevate our lives beyond, working a job, going to school, just literally, like, just connecting with the universe, tapping in universe. And he just started sending me signs, sending me signals, sending me different things to look up, investigate, research, sending me different truths that just open my mind. And it's just like, wow, 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 right? And it's like they've been keeping this from us. They've been programming us to keep us compliant, to keep us as sheeps living under this mass mind control. And everybody's so comfortable in this mass mind control that they living in, that is hard to try to break this compulsion that has been put on generations of people. Like, this is something that goes back generations, that has been instilled in us, that we have taught our children, and our children's children was taught this. And it's like, y'all lied to us about a lot of the history. The world is not what y'all made it to be. Y'all created this world so that a certain amount of percentage of people, the elite, can hold so much power, while the rest of us work so hard to keep y'all in power. It's ridiculous. And I'm just so glad that a lot of people are starting to wake up. And a lot of people would try to be like, especially like to my generation, because I am like Gen Z, and they would try to tell us like, oh, well, this is just the real world. Excuse me. They'll like to tell us like, oh, this is just the real world. Welcome to the real world. We're off the band. But it's like, no, this is not the real world. This is the world that they created so that they can have so much power over us, and so that they can be living this wonderful life while we struggling to get by, right? The America literally runs on corporations. Who are the ones inside of those corporations making sure that it's running smoothly? We are. But somebody else's name is on it. Somebody else is getting all the money while they paying us barely minimum wage. Paying us minimum wage that ain't worth the dime, that can't get us nothing. while we out here struggling, barely can buy eggs that are what, $8 now. Like, let's be for real. Running this, and they getting all of this money, and they throwing us scraps like we're animals, like we are nothing, like we are still slaves. My biggest thing that once I got older and I really started to think about it, was the whole taxes thing. First of all, you take taxes out my check. You take taxes when I go and buy stuff. Why on earth would you need to, why on earth would I need to pay you taxes at the end of the year? Because I done made a certain amount of money and I don't have kids, so I shouldn't be making this amount of money. What? Be for real with yourselves. Like, be dead serious with yourselves. That doesn't even make sense. I worked hard. Yes, I don't have kids, but I have myself to take care of, and I worked hard to take care of myself. Why do I owe you money for working hard to take care of myself? Like, it's all a scam. Like, they're using us. We're a pawn in their game. And I want everyone to start to see it. I want everyone to start to realize, like, at once upon a time in America, it was illegal to tax people. Like, it was illegal to make them pay taxes. We've been instilled to fear disrupting the system. Since slavery, we've been in fear of disrupting the system. And when we do disrupt the system, what happens? Our leaders are killed. We've learned to not disrupt the system. We've learned to be quiet, play good little sheep. And now a lot of people are realizing, why do we have to pay for water when Earth is water? Like, Earth has more water than land. Why are we paying for water? You feel me? People are starting to realize, like for me, I always said, like, hey, teach me how to garden. Teach me how to garden. I get in the garden and make my own food, because I think we've got so used to relying on the government, and they want us to rely on them, right? So that corporations can continue to run. That's why I say we need to get in the field. We need to learn how to survive on our own. Really get in the field and learn how to build our own houses. But then it goes back to, people think they own this land. Y'all don't own this land. Who are you to come to this land that other people were already at and then try to take over? Like, I had learned about, like, the Peace Act and stuff. The colonizers of America literally paid the Native Americans, paid them for their land, made them stop practicing their culture, made them cut their hair, made them start dressing civilized, so that they can put their children in school. And they gave in history where they have con people out of their own culture, con people out of their own land, con people out of their happiness, their peace, their culture, like black culture, like we're not gonna get too much into it, but like, our culture was not Christianity. Not like, that wasn't our religion. That was not our culture. It was beat into us. It was instilled into us. That is our master's religion. That is not our religion. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, like, I read the Bible. I grew up Christian, don't get me wrong. And, you know, but at the end of the day, like, let's keep the fact, like, let's talk about the facts and stop sugarcoating it. Like, that's what the world needs to come to. They instilled this fear into us to where we keep our mouths shut. And that's what we got to stop doing. God gave us a voice for a reason. Use it. Speak up. It's time for us to really start standing on business. Like, I don't know. I just love learning about so much, and it just be having my mind just really going, because it's like, dang, like, wow, what did they teach us in school? Why did I have to get grown and just, like, start wanting to learn stuff myself? And it's like, when you in school, it's like, I could see why a lot of people in school, like, they weren't interested, because if they were teaching us the stuff that really happened in history, teaching us the stuff that they really should have been teaching us, man, I bet you a lot of people would have passed history class. A lot more people would have passed history class. But instead, y'all are teaching us. Y'all are it's like y'all trying to gaslight us with history. Like, what? Like, be for real. And like they say, what happens in the dark comes to the light. Y'all tried to lie about history and it's coming to the light. I tell you that this is life. This is, this is the real world, but it's not. This is what they took and everything from us and tried to tell, like, our ancestors. They tried to tell them that this is in best favor for them, right? And we gave up ourselves. We let a lot slide. We were too fearful to speak up and stand up for ourselves. We allowed them to make us feel inferior. Like if we don't have the money, if we don't have the funds, if we're not successful, it's because we have not worked hard enough, when really the system is made up to keep us from elevating. Like only a few are going to make it out, right? To keep this thought in our head that it's possible to happen for you. And don't get me wrong, it is possible to happen for you, right? But you don't have to do it by their rules, and that's what they want. Because if you do it by their rules, you're playing into their game. You're being a pawn in their game, and some way, somehow, they're benefiting off of that, right? So it's definitely, you definitely can succeed, but you don't have to do it their way. Tap into your true self and follow your intuition, follow your discernment, follow God's guidance, and I'm telling you, life will become so much greater, because they really really did do a number on just humanity, like the elite, just the power hungry people. And it's time for us to start really fixing stuff. And I